The Parent-Child Workshop serves as both an early childhood and a parenting program.
It's an hour to an hour and a half of uninterrupted time that you can just devote to your child.
And they basically created a space that's very warm and inviting.
Every week there was a different professional that was there to assist you with any sort of concerns.
To see all of the equipment and different stations for the children to play with is just very, very exciting. You wouldn't expect to see it in a library.
Parent-Child Workshops help parents realize their important role as their child's first and best teacher by reminding them that play is a very important aspect of early literacy.
Well, the Parent-Child Workshop encompasses all the core components of family-placed libraries. The community room is actually converted into an early childhood area where you have flat tables or mats on the floor and various stations that the children can go to according to their interests.
So the workshop really accomplishes many goals at the same time. It was designed to do that, and we are not only touching base on books and literacy, but we're also touching base on play and the importance of play and modeling for parents what is good to play with and what the child is interested in.
The workshop is play-based and informal. There's 5 weekly topics: early literacy, speech and language development and hearing, nutrition, play and movement, and child development and parenting.
So CJ and I came to the workshop, and when we saw the variety of stations and activities that they have, that was truly exciting to me and CJ. And when they asked the parents to actually participate with their children, that was even better, because it gave me a chance to get down on the floor and we played cards, and it gave me some ideas of some things that we could actually do at home that I think would enhance his development.
I thought the children's gonna play and we're gonna stay like in a side, and it wasn't like that. You know, we play with them, we have fun with them, we interact with each other.
The Parent-Child Workshop is a wonderful opportunity for parents and young children to come together with other parents and young children to learn about library services, speak to resource professionals, and also create relationships among the other attendees.
Benjamin grows so much and learns so much by playing. I mean, just by, say, like the kitchen, he's learning, you know, the different kinds of dishes, the different kinds of pots and pans. We're experimenting with colors, putting it on top, putting it away. You know, he's learning a lot of that vocabulary that you can't teach unless they're playing, so that they have a context to learn from.
In 1979, there were no libraries doing anything like this. The only things we were doing at that time were story times. I had been a professional librarian for 9 years and became pregnant, and I had a very hard time being home. And so what I did is I had joined a couple of mother support groups. It changed my life as a professional, because I came back and I said, if they can do support groups with other professionals in a hospital or in the Y, and why couldn't we bring that to a library? And I came up with this idea of doing something for 5 weeks, of setting up an ideal early childhood area.
And I remember walking in, and it was so different than any other library program I had ever seen. There was all these parents and kids and toys, that it was just activity, it wasn't crazy. And at the end of that, the child development person that was there walked up to her and said, "You have just hit the nail on the head with this one, because this is exactly what families need." And this is back in 1979. And it is still exactly what families need.
We set up the room the same way every single week. We set up stations so that way all the families get very comfortable. They know by the 2nd or 3rd week, the child knows where they want to go, where they want to play, what their favorite area is.
Sometimes the parents stand there for a few minutes not sure what they're supposed to do. And then the librarian gets them to feel comfortable, introduces them, and really starts to engage them so they will get down on the floor and play with their kids.
I was a preschool teacher myself. A lot of parents don't realize that it's not all about computers and TV. You got to sit down there and get dirty with them.
Well, when I was here, I was interacting with the other parents and just asking them how old are their kids and everything, because like they had like different ages, like toys for infants and toddlers. So have a chance to see what your kid likes to play with too.
The toy selection they have is really, there's no noise-making, blinking lights, and it's kind of given me kind of a catalog as to what types of toys are really good for her development at home.
My name's Jessica Cervella. I'm the children's librarian here, and I'm going to be with you for the next 5 weeks. I just want to point out Heidi at our art activity table. She's doing Play-Doh today. We have a child development specialist, Maxine, and feel free to, she'll be coming around talking to you. And have fun!
We do various open-ended art activities. The first week we have a coloring activity, and the second week is gluing. The third week is Play-Doh. We set up a whole station where the kids actually feel the flour that we have here and the water, and we'll mix that together. And then they will do their own activity. They could use the rolling pins, they could do some little cutouts. The fourth week we have rice activity. We have these little buckets with rice and have sand toys in them. And the last one is the finger painting. When the parents are here and they share some concerns about their child, maybe in nutrition or behavioral problems, I will refer them to the librarian, and it's a very relaxed environment. The children feel safe here, the parents feel safe here too.
We're information specialists. We have the resource right at our fingertips. And we can go right outside of the workshop if a parent has a concern and get them that information that they need, or connect them with the resources that they need to address their concerns. One of the main goals of the workshop is to be supportive of the families. You want to form a bond with them and a trusting relationship, because if they trust you and they like you, they're going to come back to you, they're going to open up to you.
Parents and the caregivers come in contact with the resource professionals. They have the opportunity to then ask about the questions and concerns about their family and that particular child, instead of getting general information.
And Dr. Randy was here, and I had a chance to speak with him, and he was just really watching us engage each other, as the parents engage the children. So he just sat there and he kind of played with us also.
I'm just overjoyed that I was able to come today, because it really represents, on one side, the best of what a library can offer that's completely consistent with how a mental health practitioner or someone within the social services would want to operate. In fact, all of this has been demonstrated in the literature over the last 30 years, that it's best to offer these kinds of family-focused interventions within a community setting, and done with respect for each family in a way that's culturally appropriate, in a way that only provides parents with what they need and what they desire at that point in time. No more, no less, because more is wasteful and less doesn't meet their needs.
In this type of workshop situation, parents feel very comfortable in asking any type of question they might have, because the library is such a safe place. They're in the room with other parents, and they begin to see that many parents have the same questions and concerns.
And most of the time, the Parent-Child Workshop alleviates their fears that nothing is wrong at all. But in those instances where there might be some kind of a developmental delay, we have the resources here. We have the materials. We can go out and find the materials, and the resource professionals can incorporate their knowledge as well as our materials, and maybe provide that early intervention service.
When I would come to the Parent-Child Workshop with my older son, who's now 7, I did notice, being in the group, that he wasn't talking as much as the other children in the room, and I was connected with an agency, and he did receive services and really did, blossom. But it wasn't until I got him into a room of other 2-year-olds where I said, wow, this is potentially a problem.
They prepare so much learning materials, play tools for children, but not only that, they prepare so much for parents too. Not only children learn, but also parents learn a lot.
And resource professionals can support that, and we as librarians are here to support that. And we need to remember that that is part of our role, and to be non-judgmental, because you don't know what that parent went through before they walked in the door of our library that morning.
Another thing that I think happens in the workshop is that parents really learn from one another.
I do love meeting the other parents. I've actually met 2 parents here that had children who are roughly the same age, and just to talk to them and say, you know, do they sleep through the night? Are they teething? How many teeth do they have? Just to be able to probably talk to another person who's in that same situation as you, oh, it's wonderful.
It's nice to be out and not to be stuck in the house, and to be doing laundry and making dinner and all the sort of tedious household chores. It's nice to kind of be out with other children, with other moms, and not feel so isolated.
We are in Los Angeles without any family at all. All of our family is back east, and so the only support that we get is through our friends. And so Family Place is a really great area to meet parents who have kids the same age as you. You can talk about issues that you're having, solve problems that you're having, you know, and commiserate, you know. Sometimes my daughter can be a little hard to deal with.
It's just, I don't know, it's fun to talk to the parents and not feel like, okay, am I doing something wrong, or is this right, or, you know, am I alone in this? But then you get to see that, no, you're not. You have other parents there, their kids throw tantrums just as the one that, you know, yours do. So it's kind of relief to see that.
Parenting is definitely a very tough job in today's world. There's a lot of stress on everybody. And part of our aim is to try to alleviate some of the stress by building parents' self-confidence that they are good parents. Our aim is to improve the strength of that family's health and well-being.
You can actually walk into our Family Place area on a regular basis, and if there's a really big group and you start singing the cleanup song, most of the time they'll start singing with you and start cleaning up. It's almost magic.
As the National Coordinator for Family Place Libraries, I have the privilege of being able to visit so many libraries throughout the nation that are Family Place libraries and are running the Parent-Child Workshop.
Parent-Child Workshops and Family Place programming has been wonderful regardless of the community. The County of Los Angeles serves a population larger than the state of Rhode Island. We have different economic communities, we have different funding, different ethnicities, and the program works beautifully in every setting.
And that's the beauty of Family Place and the Parent-Child Workshops, is that there might be a little bit of tweaking for a particular community. You might have to, get an interpreter or have the materials translated, but that's about it. I mean, really, the basics of it are the same no matter where you do it, and it's just, no matter where we've done it, it's loved and it's embraced.
And it has been very successful for us, but also for our funders. It is something that is not extremely expensive to implement. It's very easy to adjust to the size and circumstance of each library. They have so many libraries doing this that they have real practical experience of how to approach different issues. So when you do it, if you follow the training and you listen to their advice, you almost can't fail.
When I went to the Family Place Training Institute, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me as a children's librarian. I was almost fearful of the really tiny ones. I don't have children myself, but the Family Place Institute was great at making me comfortable with things. They told me about the different milestones, and I was a lot more comfortable with dealing with children and with their families.
When I was growing up, the library was a place that you just walked in and you had to be really quiet, and it was a place to just get your books and go. In recent years, libraries have come to be viewed more as a community place, a place to just bring your kids and enjoy.
It's not just how it used to be, that it was just reading and you have to be like, shh, quiet. No, now it's more family-oriented.
Through the Parent-Child Workshop, we're creating these lifelong library patrons. They keep coming back for more and more programs and more materials. They come out to the librarians to ask about different resources for their children.
In the past, libraries never dealt with children under the age of 4 because they didn't read. But research has shown that all the neural pathways they'll ever have are formed by age 3. So it's important to get them in here, get them exposed to different kinds of play and different kinds of toys so that they can create those neural pathways to build their school experience on.
Libraries have this incredible opportunity to really make a difference and become key players in early childhood development, early learning, parent support, and family support potential. And we, working with other agencies, can be great partners in ensuring that our communities provide the very best so that all of our children enter school ready and able to learn.
You know, it gives me a chance to be with my kid on this day and play with him and bond with him.